But politics is like any other profession. People work their way up the ladder, as they do in my profession of banking.
It's like any other profession?
In banking, we do not get tested for our psychiatric health. We simply progress.
Oh, you're in banking?
I am a banker, of course. So I think
surprise, surprise.
Yes.
Because the bankers, listen, nothing that I say, nothing that I think is foolproof. In fact, I don't trust my own thoughts, yeah? And I notice that sometimes even when you say the word banker, in comes a whole load of thoughts in my mind, and I try and deal with those thoughts. My thoughts about all these things is they are complicated and simple, yeah? So on the one hand, banking, you can make all sorts of, important arguments why banking is fine and the capitalist system is fine. As far as I'm concerned, the bankers are, and obviously you're not going to be able to hear this because it's what you do. Bankers are part of what is destroying the very my mother, this earth, yeah, that these people care about, yeah. These people live, when they're not here, they try and live the most unbelievable lives of, they try and do no harm to the world. They use very, very little energy, right? They're trying to get themselves out of the system, a system which is totally destroying this planet. How long can we carry on as a banker? How long can we carry on?
Look, I'm not going to defend
with
the
this
banks.
system.
I think the banks are screwed up big time. I absolutely fully agree with people's anger towards banking at the moment. Banking created a catastrophic failure of the system. There was too much risk. There was too much profiteering for profiteering's sake. So I won't defend bankers, even though I am one. But at the same time, we need banking, as we need politics, as we need parliament. We need to have a government. We need to have a banking system.
That's your belief. That's fine.
Well,
yeah, that's fine.
I'm telling you something that's almost a scientific necessity.
Scientific necessity.
Well, I am.
You're telling me, that Parliament and the economy is a scientific necessity.
Yes, I'm saying to you, for example, without money, what would you have? You'd have a barter economy. Do you think a barter economy is a realistic?
I don't know. But when it happens, I'll let you know.
You spend a lot of time saying I don't know.
I don't.
So have you thought through these issues?
Yeah, I've thought through them a lot.
Well, how can't you come to any conclusions?
Because coming to conclusions means coming to the end of a thought.
Okay, well, I'll tell you something. I was trained as a mathematician, so perhaps you can understand why I actually come to conclusions. I don't just hypothesize. I just don't let various conflicting arguments circulate in my head without
you stop thinking about things. That's what you're saying.
I've been able to come to some conclusions.
Yeah. I mean,
for example,
it's up to the viewers. It's up to the viewers to decide.
And we need politicians.
Okay, it'll be up to the viewers, and one day, perhaps when you look at this, I'll tell you, right? It's up to the viewers and yourself, if you were to look at this, to analyse it psychologically, to decide whether or not you've stopped thinking about things. Because from my point of view, especially the anger reveals that you have stopped thinking about things. And you've decided how it is. You've decided, for example, that we have to have an economy forevermore. You've decided we have to have a parliament forevermore. Yes, you've decided we have to have a government forevermore.
Yes, I do.
Oh, well, there are some incredibly well-educated people who don't think that.
Okay, can you name two? Just give me two names of people that are well-educated that don't think we need economies, parliaments, or governments.
I will get back to you on that. If you give me an email address, I'll get back to you on that.
I'm simply saying it's very easy for you to espouse these things when I know you don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
There aren't, by definition almost, there are not well thought out, well-reasoned people who advocate nihilism. And what you're advocating is nihilism.
I'm not advocating nihilism.
Yes, you are. You're saying you're suggesting that we can do it without a government, without an economy.
I'm suggesting that we're going to have to soon. We're going to have to soon.
Why is that?
Because the whole thing's about to fall to pieces. It's not going to last for another 500 years, is it? As you keep on, I mean, how much of the Amazon? What will happen when the Amazon's all cut down?
Oh, I agree that we have to do something very dramatic about the Amazon.
No, we're not going to do anything dramatic about the Amazon, and I'll tell you why. Because this culture is based on a false cultural myth. And I'm going to ask you one of the most important question, perhaps, for me. Why do you think the world was created for man, or do you think that man is just another life form on this earth?
Man is just another life form.
Are we behaving like that? Are they behaving like that?
We are the most intelligent life form. We have started to dominate the planet. We are a plague. I will admit that. Mankind is to a certain extent a plague because we influence the environment like no other species. But we also happen to be the smartest animal by some distance. No, I don't think you should.
Yeah, sure you can.
No. So, of course, we are the smartest animal. Now, we haven't always utilised that intelligence correctly. I admit that. But if you're suggesting for a moment that somehow there's something intrinsically wrong with the species of man, I disagree with you. I think we should celebrate the fact that
I never said there's something wrong with the species. I said there's something wrong with the way the cultural story is absolutely false. And it started off with religion. Well, part of it is religion, by creating the story that man dominates the world, right? And it continued, that religion, and by the way, I don't know if you've noticed, look at the building behind you, yeah? What does it remind you of? What type of building is it? What does it look like to you?
It looks like a tower.
Just a tower, does it? Not noticed any other similarities with any other types of building?
No, not particularly. No,
How about a cathedral?
Okay, so cathedral.
Have you ever thought about what the people inside are called? The people who do things. What are they called? Government.
Chancellors,
Ministers.
Yes.
Ministers.
Okay, well, that's
interesting. And then there's a prime
parallel, yes.
minister. And these people over there, right, are so messed up and have taken on this distorted worldview that we can do whatever we like because we are different. We're not subject to nature's laws. We're different, and therefore we can go into any country we like, and we can take anything out, or we can ruin the ground. We can put pesticides in anything we like into the ground, and we can cut down trees to make newspapers, and we can do what we like. Yeah, these people are operating on that myth. Yeah, and until they change the myth and start to understand, and that's what these people are, whether you like this or not, and I'll come back to that in a second, but these people, none of them operate under that myth. None of them. If you speak to them, they understand that we are just another species on the planet, and they want to find a way of us being at peace with ourselves and being at peace with other life forms.
Do you and do these people actually grow your own food?
Well, it's interesting you say that. They've brought some plants here, right? And they, as far as I know, some of them are involved in growing their own food. I also grow some of my own food,
but I don't believe it supplies all of your requirements.
It doesn't supply all my, and my response to that is, I am a hypocrite. I struggle every single day, thinking, fucking hell, I'm such a hypocrite. Right? I am a hypocrite. It's very difficult not to be. Okay, I agree with you, right?
Because we do need to have the organised production of food. We can't rely upon everybody to grow their own food. It will not work.